stream a basic tutorial for Star Wars The Old Republic. Um, I'm going to be doing this as simply as possible. I'm going to go through character creation and just the first quest or two. Um, I am a subscriber to the game, which means I have some perks that aren't available for free to play. If people are interested, I will go ahead and uh, make a free to play account so that I can show what it's like if you don't have the subscriber perks. There are 3 levels of subscribing. There's the free to play option, which it lets you play most of the game. It doesn't block you out of any of the quests except for the expansions. However, it does have certain perks that are missing. You're not allowed to whisper people until they've whispered you first. You can't hide your helm. You get less XP by about, I want to say, 25%. Um, so, and you can only have so many characters and so much money. So, there are definitely perks to being subscriber or preferred status. Preferred status is I used to subscribe, but I don't anymore. I still have a lot of the perks. Um, you can get that if you buy cartel coins, and then you can buy that ability to have those perks even without ever being a subscriber. If you want all the perks that I have, go ahead and subscribe. I do have some things like mini pets, specialty, gear items, companions that you can't get anymore because they are no longer available. I've been a subscriber for years, so it does change some things like that. Um, for the moment, I have the game muted where you guys can't hear it. I will switch that once I've been able to get into the game fully, because at the moment here at the character creation screen, you can't change things like sound options, and for the moment, the game is much louder than I am. So until I get fully into the game and have the character created and can edit those sound options, we'll have to have the game itself muted. Once those are done, I'll go ahead and unmute the game so that you guys can hear the quests, things like that. Alright, let's go ahead and get started. I have decided that I'm going to be playing a Jedi Knight, but I'll explain things as we go, and when it comes to character creation, I'll show the options that are available, but I'm just going to choose the first option down the menu and let it go that way, okay? Alright, here we go. So, create a character. Because I am playing a Jedi, I am a Republic fanboy. I do enjoy the Empire, but for right now we're going to go with Republic, just to make things easier. I am going to really quickly adjust, excuse me, my ability to view things, because for the moment it is blocking a part of the screen. I play in windowed mode instead of full screen so that I can swap back and forth and check on the stream chat. So there will be little bits of delay here and there. Okay. And I'm seeing some visual lag. That's to be. Okay, so Jedi Knight. Um, every class you have options in. Jedi Knight is, of course, the Jedi that uses a single lightsaber as opposed to two lightsabers. The Jedi Guardian is a tank version. If you want to play the DPS version, you have Sentinel, but I like the survivability of the tank. You also have Jedi Consular. These are your caster classes. The Jedi Sage is the tank version of the Jedi. The Jedi Shadow is the DPS version, and they can also heal, but they're also stealth fighters, which is amazing. The Jedi Sage can also heal I always forget that they can because I never play a healer. I'm terrible about that. For Smuggler, you have two options. Again, you have your Gunslinger and you have your Scoundrel. The Gunslinger is more a ranged DPS. The Smuggler has the option of being a healer, but they have a stealth option as well, which is really handy. And they can be also played as a DPS if you don't feel like healing. And then Trooper, you've got your Commando, which they are kind of a brute force DPS, or you have your Vanguard, which are your tank version of the Trooper. Alright, so as I said, we're going with Jedi Guardian or Jedi Knight to start. I'm going to play a Guardian because I like the survivability of playing a tank. You'll almost never see me group up, just to let you know in advance, so you won't see me tank, but I like the survivability. Okay, so here we have your racial options. You notice some of these are locked. These are classes that have not been unlocked or these are races that have not been unlocked for this class. So you can play a human, a Mira Luca, Twi'lek, Zabrak, Mirialan, Cyborg. These races, Cathar, Togruta, and Nautolan, those are unlocks that you can get through the cartel market. I happen to have them, but we're not going to play with one of those because, again, I'm going to be trying to play by the base game. The Ratataki, the Zabrak, the Redskin Zabrak, the Sith, and the Chiss are not available for this class for this. I actually have all of those unlocked on my other server, but I'm trying to make this as close to what you would be playing if you were brand new to the game. So we're going to stick with one of these main races, and we're going to go with human just because I'm trying to keep it simple. So next, select your gender. You can play female or male. And if you play one of them, you can go back if you decide, hey, I don't want to play that, I want to play something else. Okay, so this is a male human. First step, we're going to zoom out so I can show you the body types. So we have our skinny, kind of scrawny body guy, our normal body guy, our super muscular, super tall body guy, and we have chubby, who also is super tall, go figure. Here's the thing. If you're playing a male, they're actually chubby. They're not like super fat, but they're like muscle chubby. If you're playing a female, it doesn't actually make the character chubby. The character instead is, they just have a larger hips and larger breasts. That's about the only difference. Okay, so, but like I said, we're going to choose the first option on everything. Okay, so first option on body. Now we're going to go with head. We're going to get to the first option. And I'm just going to go through, and you can see that as you change the head options, it gives you older faces, younger faces. It'll give you different characteristics that are for various races, human races. So you can have African American or Asian characteristics. But again, I said we're going to just do option 1, so I'm just showing you the options, and okay, that's all of them. So we're going to go back to head 1. Scars, these change based on, I turned them the wrong way, okay. These change depending on what you want. Some of them are much more subtle, such as this one, which is just a small scar on the chin. Others are much more, thank you. Others are much more apparent. And if you are like me and you roleplay, these are great for giving backstory, like, hey, this person grew up on a planet with lots of dangerous animals and fell victim to one and retained these scars, or this person suffered a disease that left them with scars. Uh, they were attacked by a Sith and have Force lightning scars. All sorts of options. We're going to go with the first one again, which leaves us with no scars. Complexion. This is things like you can add freckles, or you can do something like this, where he looks like he's from a planet where they wear goggles to protect their eyes, but he's got a tan outside of the goggles. And some of them seem very similar to others, but there are subtle differences, such as the changing of the eyebrows on some of them. And we're just going to, like I said, go through these, see what other options are there. Complexion is one of the largest options you have, aside from your beards, which actually I think beards has less, so complexions have more. On the female characters, you actually have the options of makeup. Also, some of these options are locked if you do not have the opening, having opened them up. See, eye colors. I've got some unlocked eye colors, so I will show you those, but those are, again, cartel market. I tend to use these white eyes if I'm playing a character that is blind. Okay, so beards, because we're choosing option 1, he's going to be smooth shaven, which that's fine, but you have options and they do, change between themselves. So you'll have one option that is, say, mutton chops, and then you'll have one that is a Wyatt Earp beard, and then you'll have mutton chops and the Wyatt Earp mustache, so you have a lot of options to work with. You could come up with all sorts of combinations. I have found very few games that give you as many combinations as Tor allows. You can even be bald in this case. Some of these hairstyles, by the way, it'll look like they're not any different than the previous one, but when you look at the back of the head, you can see some changes. So again, lots of options, including different hair textures, and of course the cut and style. Do you want long hair? Do you want long hair into Q? Okay, but we're going with bald. Now we've got your hair color. Because I am going with bald, this is not going to be as clear, but I'll go ahead and show you the colors on this before I switch him back to no hair at all. Okay, so skin color. This ranges pretty well with everybody, every human skin tone available. They will change when you do the complexion, so you might have a character with very dark skin who the complexions will look different on than they would for a character with very light skin. But okay. Now we're going to randomize the name, but here's a trick to it. If you randomize the name a lot of times, they won't actually, you'll hit play and it'll say that name is already taken. See, here we go. If you run into that problem, what I tend to do is I just add a letter in there, or maybe take one away, and here we go. Okay. So it's going to give us a cutscene that is basically the rundown. I'm going to read it since you guys can't see it. So, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, this is done in the style of the original Star Wars movies. Star Wars. And yes, the exact song you think of is playing. Just, you won't be able to hear me talking if I don't keep that. Prologue, the Jedi Knight. It is a dark era for the Jedi Order. The Sith Empire obliterated the Jedi Temple on Coruscant and slaughtered many of the Republic's brave defenders during the last war. The surviving Jedi have withdrawn to their ancient homeworld of Tython, where they take advantage of a fragile peace to train a new generation of Guardians for the galaxy. Now a new hope emerges. A young Padawan strong in the Force journeys to Tython's dangerous wilderness to complete the final Jedi trials and become a Knight of the Republic. Okay, so it's going to now, once we finish this, it's going to take us into a screen where we have to hit the spacebar to continue. I'm going to go ahead and turn on sound, and I'm going to be quiet, let it run through the opening cutscene, and once that is done, then I'll go ahead and turn the game sounds back off so that I can go ahead and adjust the sounds while explaining what I'm doing. So, alright, I'm going to go quiet and you're going to get to hear the game instead.
Welcome to Tython, Padawan. Everyone at the temple is looking forward to meeting you. Your former masters praise your combat skills. They say you're becoming an expert duelist.
Okay, I'm going to let you guys hear me for just a second while I explain this. See, you'll have the option of different things you can say, and the choices are generally the noble, honorable choice, the let's find out more information, let's ask for clarification, and the kind of cocky, often snarky or sarcastic option. So, let me go ahead and let you guys hear the game again.
It's easy to excel when you're trained by the best.
The Jedi Council will assign you a new master to oversee your final trials. You'll be tested in ways you can't imagine. But when you leave Tython, you'll know what it means to be a Jedi Knight. More importantly, you'll know yourself.
I'm eager to face these trials. Where do I start?
There's a speeder here that will take you to... Hang on. I'm getting an emergency signal. Flesh Raiders, armed with Blasters? He must be mistaken.
What are these things? Animals?
Flesh Raiders are a species of hostile natives. They're smart enough to use tools and violent beyond reason. I'm sending every able-bodied Jedi down to the Padawan training grounds right away. Especially you.
What makes me any better than the others?
You've been trained for dangers like this. I know I can count on you. Take the speeder outside to the training grounds, push back the Flesh Raiders, and find out if they're really using advanced weapons. Go. I'll catch up with you after I alert the Jedi Council. May the Force be with you.
Okay, so I'm muting the game for a few while I show you some things and adjust the volume. So, first and foremost, how you get to where you adjust the volume is by hitting the escape key and going to preferences. And here we can go to sound, and we're going to turn the master volume down to about 60. The sound effects are going to go down to closer to 30, because believe me, it will blast your ears with the lightsaber noises if you don't. Voice volume can stay high because I'm going to be on cutscenes muting myself so that you guys can hear what the options are. The music volume we'll put again down to about 30. I know that I talk quietly, so that's why we're turning these down. Normally, because I would not be streaming, I would actually have them at around 50-ish. But again, because I'm streaming, we have to turn them down. Also, controls. You want to make certain that you have auto loot on right click turned on and enable area loot. Those just make it easier for you to pick things up. Normally auto loot on right click is not turned on. I actually had adjusted things and turned it on before. So combat logging, you can show how you died if you need to. Sound. Chat, I always turn the filter profanity off because I'm not bothered by profanity. If people ask, I can turn it on, but it makes conversations kind of weird because any profanity shows up as a weird string of text. User interface, you can turn on subtitles for conversations with non-aliens. For some people it helps a lot. I'm going to turn it on because I have other people viewing this stream. Might be hard of hearing. Graphics, I keep mine set to windowed mode because I tab in and out a lot. I also keep my settings to low because I am streaming and I want to give people the best options there. Starfighter, I don't really starfight. I'm going to try it later once it's available in game to show people, but it's just how I don't really play that. I do have auto ignore guild invites turned on because I'm not going to be joining a guild on this server since I don't play here normally, and I don't want people counting on me to be available when I'm just here for streaming purposes. Also, I'm turning off PvP challenges because I don't really PvP. Nameplates, normally most of these are set as on. I only have the nameplates on enemy PCs because it makes it easier for me to find them. I have scale nameplates with distance because it means I can tell who's closer, who's farther, and always show health bar means I can see if somebody is already affected. Key bindings are located here, and mine are generally already set. For the most part, I really only worry about the movement because I make certain that it is mapped to my up, down, and left, right arrow keys. I don't use a mouse. I play on a laptop, and I'm weird. Apparently, most people can't stand playing on the touchpad, but for me, it seems perfectly normal. Um, Miscellaneous, you can change your interfaces, change the volumes, things like that. Um, you can change how you set up to find your abilities. I always mean to set it to A because that's what feels right to me is A for ability, but I think there's something else bound to A that I need, so I don't mess with that one. Um, Open up a chat, just hit the slash key and it'll start a conversation, things like that. To reply to a whisper, you can hit R, which is what I normally do, or if you're whispering somebody else that you've already spoken with, you can hit Shift plus R and it'll cycle through to find that person. Camera, they have it set to mouse wheel up, mouse wheel down, but I use page up and page down because, again, I'm not using a mouse. You can also bind for Starfighter, and you can import presets from others. So, okay, we're going to say apply and okay. And now I'm going to show you guys the interface editor, and then once I've done that, we're going to end the stream for now, so that I can check and see, did the sound editing work so that you guys can hear me now. But I want to show you guys some things first. So quick bar 2, okay, actually cancel this real quick, and your quick bars right now you can cycle through by pushing this down arrow, but for me I prefer to edit my interface and choose the quick bars, enable them here, and then move them around to where I need them. And what I generally do is quick bar 3, this is going to be the one that I use for my my attacks that are like procs. And what I'll do is I will lift the temporary ability bar up here. This will be for like if you're doing a quest where you have specialty things that only show up then. And we are going to move this quick bar, and we can change it so that all of the slots are vertical rather than horizontal. No, horizontal rather than vertical. And we're going to move this one to down here. And we actually want it right about here because this is our debuffs, this is our buffs. We don't want to lose those. Your strong hard hold toolbar is actually safe to move up here. Focus target, I tend to move over a bit. I'll be moving the chat here in a few, so that won't be in our way anymore. This right here shows you what planet you're on or what phase, so that one can stay there right above the stronghold toolbar. The strongholds I will show off later, but that'll wait until we reach them in game. So, okay. We do have this player cast bar. This shows what you're casting at any given time. I tend to move it down here. So here is our quick bar 3. Here is quick bar 2. Quick bar 2, I will actually be moving down on the grid just a little bit because I'm going to be moving the chat over here, and I don't want to cover that. Quick bar 4, we are also going to enable, but this one we're actually going to reduce down to only 4 slots and then make them all horizontal, and we're going to move it to right about here. And this is where I tend to keep my movement abilities, so sprint, quick travel, return to fleet, and my preferred mount. Okay, now we're going to move this over here, and we're going to work with quick bar 5. This is the one that I use for special abilities normally, and again I reduce it down to 4 and set it to horizontal. Enable, of course, because I'd forgotten to do that. As soon as I remember where it is. There it is. Okay. And this one I tend to move to down here so that I can use it there. This is your target's cast bar. You can safely move this over here. And then, of course, quick bar 6, we're also going to enable, but we're going to leave it right where it is. If anything, we're just going to move it, again, down a row. And now that I think about it, I need to move this up a row because I like everything to be on the same grid. Okay, we're going to save this. Now we can see you do have options like your arena scorecard, your achievement tracker, your mission tracker. This is where all your quests will be listed. If you are downloading the game still, say you chose to play before it was completely downloaded, this is where you'll see that information. If you're in a group, those are here. The operations frame is right behind them. Social notifications, that's friend invites, somebody logged on, things like that. This one down here is where your companion will be. When you get one, you do have a companion that helps you with things. The holocom, this is where you will get notified of you have a holocom message. Go ahead and trigger that. Tutorials can be triggered right here. And of course, this is target. Your alignment toggle, this will just tell you if you've increased in light side or dark side points and which one is higher for you. Since I'm playing a Jedi, it's primarily going to be light side. I will take very few dark side options with a Jedi, and if I do, they all make sense to me. So, okay, we're going to go ahead, now that that's saved, cancel out of this, and now we can see our bars are adjusted, and we are going to move your introspection up here to right there. The introspection ability is one that you use for your self-heal outside of combat. And if you use it, it will heal you to full over the course. It is a channel. Force Might is also a buff, so we can go ahead and you can cast it on yourself, or you can target somebody else and cast it on them. This is Force Leap. I always move it to the 11, or the, well, it'd be the 12 key if you're counting from 10, but I always move it here because if you have it on 1, then when you trigger, when you target somebody, you will automatically trigger this ability if you're in range. If you are in range of Force Leap, it can result in you leaping into combat before you're ready, especially if you're in a group. We are also going to bring up our abilities menu, and you can see you've got passive abilities or melee abilities or active abilities. Active means you have to trigger it. Melee means it is a fighting ability that you have to be in melee for. Passive is it's always on, you don't change that. If we go to general, we can see proficiencies for armor. Quick travel, we don't have this yet, but we are going to move it right down here for when we do. Revive companion, you can actually just click on the companion or another player to revive them if you're out of combat, so I don't bother with putting those on any of my bars. We are going to move the chat window to here. It does slightly cover Force Might, but it leaves it open enough that you can go ahead and attack things. Alright, now to test and see if you can hear now. I will warn you, at the moment, I don't have a proper mic, so for some reason, when it is playing game sounds and I don't have myself muted, it has a weird echo effect. But I'm going to let us listen to the game as I'm running around just to see, can you still hear me?
I'm afraid the Gnarls are no longer an ideal place for Padawans.
We live in dangerous
Here we have
times.
people who
Where would you send them?
talking.
Training rooms inside the temple?
There is darkness everywhere on Tython, but the dangers of the Gnarls,
Our new initiates must learn to recognize darkness and danger.
as you say, Master, but we can only afford to lose so many.
There are lots of these little things, and they tend to be triggered when you run past them. So I always like to stop and listen to them. if it is a particularly interesting conversation, especially. Okay, we're going to run down here, but we are not going to take the speeder because, again, I'm going to end the stream here. Actually, I want to show you a few more things. So, up here, you have your character sheet. You can access it by hitting C, or you can click on that. This shows you your gear. It shows you your alignment. Right now, I'm at 0, neutral alignment. As you make choices in-game, depending on if they are light side or dark side, your alignment will move, allowing you to have special things. You will get perks for certain ranks, you'll get achievements for certain ranks. If you move far enough onto the dark side, it actually changes your appearance. It can change your skin color. It kind of washes you out. I have a friend who plays a red-skinned Sith who, thanks to the dark abilities or dark alignment, is actually almost an orangey yellow color. And I have another character who is a red-skinned Zabrak who, because he's so washed out, he's almost Pepto-Bismol pink. It's hilarious. You can set outfits that you prefer to wear because it will change the appearance of your clothes without actually changing stats. If you set up an outfit, here's where, if you are a subscriber or preferred, you have the option to hide your head slot, to show or hide dark side corruption, and you can enable mount colors. You can also unify your clothing's colors, so you can buy dye packs that you insert into clothing that is the customizable items, which are orange, and you don't get access to those unless you are preferred or subscriber, so keep that in mind. But if you do, you can insert dye packs into those and then choose Unify Colors to make the dye go across your whole character. When you create an outfit, there will be a cost per the number of items you've added. It can be paid in cartel coins or in credits. You also have, like I said, your abilities. Here's your inventory. This is where tutorials show up, by the way. If you click on, we're going to close this first, but if you click on this, it doesn't, oh, that's right. Okay, so there's a tiny little thing there. This is your tutorial. You can click on these, and it explains a lot of what I'm already discussing. You can turn on or off tutorial alerts. I tend to have them hidden because I've been playing this game for a long time. I don't really necessarily need them, but they are important for later. Okay. You also have up here, you can open your combat proficiencies. These are tank damage, or damage for the Jedi Guardian. You don't have a Healy spec on this class. It's just the way they're set up. But these will show you what the abilities you can open up at what level. And you can change your spec, but I think once you've created it, you can only do it once. And again, as I said, I prefer to play a tank because I like the survivability, so I'm going to commit to defense from here. Once you've set it, you don't get to change it. But you will be able to change your abilities here as you earn more ability points. Then you also have activities you can open up, so once you get to them, you'll be able to open up dungeon, raid, or I think it's actually called instance and operation. You can change chapters once you are in one of the expansions. By changing the chapter, you can move ahead or back in a storyline. Your renown, I don't have any right now, but once you hit max level, you'll start earning renown that will let you open up things that will give you specialty gear. Your mission log, of course, tells you what you're doing. and you can untrack things if, say, you have a quest you don't actually want to do right now. You'll also have options of conquest. This is a guild-specific thing, generally. Oh no, correction. This is the guild-specific thing. You can join a guild to do operations and instances and conquests with the guild to take over planets, and they give you specialty rewards as you do them. The Codex is where everything is explained. You can open up previous conversations, options, heroic missions. They explain it all here. So then companions and contacts, once you have them, will show up here. The alerts and don't really show up until you hit the Knights of the Fallen Empire, I want to say, but those are a specialty thing. Strongholds, when we reach a certain level, we'll be able to unlock strongholds. I'll probably go ahead and buy one just to show off once we get to that point. And then eventually, if you join a guild, you'll have guild strongholds. You can have a key ring, which will hold your ability to go to other people's strongholds that have not been opened up to the public. Crew skills, these you have to have a companion, and you also have to have learned your crew skills. Those are something that are basically professions. You can have up to 3 at a time. Galaxy map, you have to have a ship for. World map, this one's simple enough. If you see purple, that means it is a planet quest or a story quest. If it is green, then that is a non-story quest, which you can open up by choosing this show exploration missions. If you don't have that, they're not even going to show up for you, and you're going to miss a lot of the fun and lore in the game. And again, the Codex. This is the social window. It's where you'll add friends. It'll be where you access the guild. If you have anybody on your block list, this is where it'll be. This, of course, preferences, customer service, tutorials, interface editor, and logout. This is the cartel market. I'm going to go into this more in depth once we are a bit more established with the streams, but it's things that are entirely cosmetic. This game is not pay to play. You can play it for free. You can have just as much fun as a free-to-play. Your leveling will be a little bit slower, and you won't get options like the ability to hide your helm, things like that, but you can have just as much fun as a free-to-play player. You really can. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream now. We'll pick up next time with actually going and doing a few quests. So I do want to thank you guys for joining me, and I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that you will enjoy playing Star Wars with me. Thanks. Bye.